I never thought I'd be sharing this story, but I need to get it off of my chest. I am a wildlife photographer, or at least I was until last month. What I experienced has left me questioning everything I thought I knew about the natural world and my own sanity. This is a warning to anyone who thinks they want to capture the unexplained on camera. Some things are better left undocumented. It all started when I got an assignment from a well-known nature magazine to photograph the wildlife in the Navajo Nation. They wanted a series on the animals that inhabited the area, particularly those that were significant to Navajo culture. I was thrilled. It was a chance to combine my passion for photography with my interest in Native American tradition. I arrived in Arizona on a sunny Tuesday morning. The landscape was breathtaking. Red rocks stretching as far as the eye could see, dotted with shrubs, brush, and the occasional juniper tree. I checked into a small hotel on the outskirts of the reservation and spent the first day scouting locations. My guide, a Navajo man named John, was hesitant when I told him I wanted to photograph at night as well. "Some things shouldn't be seen," he said cryptically, laughing it off at the time, attributing his wariness to superstition. If only I had listened. The first few days were uneventful. I got some great shots of coyotes, jackrabbits, and even a golden eagle. But it was on the fourth night that everything changed. I had set up my equipment in a small canyon, hoping to catch some nocturnal animals. The moon was full, casting an eerie glow over the landscape. I was just about to pack up for the night when I heard a sound that scared the crap out of me. It was a howl, but not like any howl I had ever heard before. It started as something akin to a wolf's cry, but morphed into something human-like. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up immediately, and I felt an overwhelming urge to get out of there. I needed to run. But the photographer in me could not resist capturing an image of what this creature might be. I raised my camera, pointed it in the direction of the sound, and I waited. And what happened next will haunt me for the rest of my life. A figure emerged from behind a large boulder. At first, I thought it was a person, maybe a local out for a night walk, but as it moved into the moonlight, it became pretty clear how wrong I was. The creature was humanoid in shape, but that is where the similarities ended. Its limbs were too long, too thin. It moved with an unnatural ease, more like a snake than a person. And its face, Jesus, its face was just twisted and contorted and long. I don't even know how to explain it. I was frozen in fear, but my fingers moved automatically, snapping picture after picture. The creature stopped, its head cocking to one side as if listening. Then, to my absolute horror, it began to change right in front of me. This transformation that I watched happen right then and there was so grotesque. Its skin seemed to just ripple and shift, bones cracking and reforming in new positions. In a matter of seconds, where the creature had stood, there was now a coyote, but its eyes, they were still human. They were fixed directly on me. I ran. I abandoned my tripod and most of my equipment, clutching only my camera as I sprinted back to my Jeep. I could hear it behind me, the sound of paws on rock, getting closer with each passing second. I reached my vehicle, fumbling with my keys as I tried to unlock the door, just as I heard a growl right behind me. I managed to wrench the door open, throw myself inside, and slam the door shut. The coyote? No, the thing slammed into the side of the Jeep. I started the engine and peeled out of there, tires kicking up dust and gravel. In my rearview mirror, I saw the coyote transform again, this time into a man who was smiling at me with too many teeth in his mouth. I drove straight back to the motel. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might burst out of my chest. I locked myself in my room and spent the rest of the night huddled in the corner, jumping at every sound, expecting any moment for this thing to come barreling through the door of my room. When morning came, I tried to convince myself it had all been a nightmare, but the evidence was there on my camera, and with shaking hands, I downloaded the images to my laptop. The pictures were blurry. I'd been shooting without a tripod and low light, but they were clear enough. They showed the creature in various stages of transformation. In one, it was the humanoid thing I'd first seen. In another, it was midway between that form and the coyote, its face a horrifying blend of human and animal features. I knew that I had captured something that I was never meant to see, something that defies all logical explanation. I had photographed a skinwalker. For those who don't know, skinwalkers are a part of Navajo legend. They are said to be witches who can transform into animals or other people. They are evil beings, and I had always thought that they were just stories. But now I knew better. I checked out of the motel immediately, telling the clerk I had a family emergency. I could feel eyes on me as I drove out of the town, but every time I looked in my mirror, I saw nothing out of the ordinary. I should have known it wouldn't be that easy to escape. The drive home was tense. Every time I saw an animal on the roadside, I wondered if it was really an animal at all. Was that coyote watching me too intently? Did that crow seem to be following my car? I made it home without incident, but that is when things really started to get weird. It started out small. I'd wake up to find my apartment in complete disarray. Things moved from where I had left them. At first, I attributed it to stress, to my own forgetfulness. But then I started to notice other things. Scratch marks on my door that I hadn't been there before, strange tracks in the dirt outside of my window, and the constant feeling of being watched. I became paranoid. I installed security cameras, changed my locks, even bought a gun. But nothing showed up on the cameras. No one tried to break in. It was as if whatever was stalking me, if anything was stalking me, knew exactly how to avoid detection. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that creature's face, heard that inhuman howl. I started losing weight. My appearance became gaunt and haggard. My friends worried, but how could I explain what was happening? I didn't think anyone was going to believe me, even if I had photos. A week after my return, I received a package. There was no return address on it, and when I opened it, inside I found a single coyote tooth, and with it was a note written in some strange, messy handwriting. The note said, "Give back what you took." I knew then that it had followed me, and I knew that it wanted the photos. Part of me wanted to comply, to destroy the images and hope that that would be the end of it. But another part of me, the part that had made me become a photographer in the first place, couldn't bear to erase what might be the only evidence of the creature's existence. So, I did the only thing I could think of. I uploaded the images to a secure cloud server and mailed the memory card to a friend with instructions not to open it unless something happened to me. That night, as I lay in bed, trying to fall asleep again, I heard it. The howl. The same one I'd heard in that canyon. But this time, it was coming from right outside my window. I scrambled for my phone, dialing 911 with trembling fingers. As the operator answered, I heard a sound that made my heart stop. A slow, deliberate turning of my doorknob. 911, what's your emergency? I opened my mouth, but no words came out, because at that moment my bedroom door swung open. It was there, the skinwalker, in its half-human, half-coyote form. Its eyes locked with mine, and I saw in them a hunger that was all too human. I dropped my phone, the operator's voice fading into the background as the creature advanced. I scrambled backwards, falling off the bed in my haste to get away. It spoke then, its voice a guttural approximation of a human speech. "The images, where are they?" I pointed shakily at my laptop sitting on the desk. There. Take them. Please just take them and go. The Skinwalker moved to the desk, its elongated fingers tapping at the keyboard. It turned back to me, its face contorting into what I think was supposed to be a smile. Not here. Where are they? I realized then that it knew. It knew I had hidden the original images, and it wasn't going to leave until it had them. Just then I heard sirens in the distance. The Skinwalker's head snapped towards the window, its body tensing. It looked back at me, and for a moment, I thought it was going to attack, but instead it began to change again. The transformation was quicker this time, and in seconds a perfect replica of me stood there. It was like looking in the mirror, except for the eyes. They were still those hungry, inhuman eyes. This isn't over, it said with my voice, and then it was gone. Out the window and into the night. The police arrived minutes later. They found me huddled in the corner, babbling about monsters and shapeshifters. They assumed I had some kind of breakdown, or maybe I was on some drugs. And maybe I should have been. I spent the next week in a psychiatric ward. The doctors diagnosed me with the extreme stress and possible post-traumatic stress disorder. They said my mind had created the Skinwalker as a way to cope with some trauma, that none of it was real. Part of me wanted to believe them. It would be easier, safer, to think that it had all been in my head. But I knew the truth. The images on that memory card can prove it. When I was released, I found my apartment exactly as I had left it. No sign of disturbance, no evidence that anything out of the ordinary had happened. Life, it seemed, was expected to just go back to normal. But how could it? I knew it was out there. I knew it was hunting me. I quit my job, sold my equipment, moved to a new city, but I can't shake the feeling that it is still out there watching me, waiting. Every animal I see could be the Skinwalker in disguise. Every stranger on the street could be wearing a stolen face. I'm sharing this story as a warning to all the photographers, the explorers, the thrill seekers out there. Some things are not meant to be captured on film. Some secrets are kept for a reason. If you're ever in the desert at night and you hear a howl that sounds almost human, run. Don't look back. Don't try to document it. Just run. As for me, I don't know how much longer I can live like this, always looking over my shoulder, jumping at every shadow. The Skinwalker is patient. It can wait. It has all the time in the world. But I'm tired. So very tired. Sometimes late at night, I find myself wishing it would just come for me, end this chase. But then I remember those eyes, that hunger. And I know that whatever it has planned for me would be far worse than this endless waiting. So I keep running, keep hiding, and I pray that someday, somehow, this will end. If you're reading this and you don't hear from me again, know that the images exist. They are proof that there are things in this world beyond our understanding, things that should be left alone. And if you ever find yourself face to face with one of these creatures, remember my story. Don't try to be a hero. Don't try to expose the truth. Just run. Get out of there. A lot of you are asking for more details, or for me to share the images. I understand the curiosity. I really do. But I can't. I won't put anyone else at risk. The images are hidden away, and that's where they will stay. As for more details, what I've already shared is all I am comfortable in saying. I'm already worried that I've said too much, actually. To those of you sharing similar stories in the comments, I believe you. I wish I didn't, but I do. It seems these creatures, whatever they are, they have been encountered by others, and we are not alone in this. I don't know what to do with this knowledge. Part of me wants to forget it all, to try and go back to my normal life, but another part feels responsible. If by sharing my story I can prevent even one person from making the same mistake I did, then it is definitely worth it. I'll keep monitoring this post and answer what questions I can, but please, don't ask me to share the images or give more specific details about where this happened. That information is dangerous, and the less attention drawn to it, the better. Stay safe, everyone, and remember, not everything is meant to be photographed. To the user who claimed to be a Navajo shaman and offer me help, thank you, but I can't take the risk. I don't know if you really are who you say you are, or if you're something else. I appreciate the offer, but I have to decline. For those asking about my friend who has the memory card, they're safe, as far as I know. We have an arrangement. If they don't hear from me regularly, they take certain actions. I can't say more than that. I know this all sounds crazy. Believe me, I know. But there are days when I wake up and for a split second I think it's all just a bad dream. But then I remember, and the fear comes rushing back. I'm not sure how much longer I will be able to update this post. I'm planning to move again soon. Staying in one place for too long feels dangerous. Thank you all for your concern and support. It helps to know that there are people out there who believe in me and who understand what I am going through. Keep your eyes open, stay vigilant, and if you ever feel like something is watching you, trust your instincts. This will be my last entry. I need to focus on staying safe, on staying ahead of it. Remember my story, and please, be careful out there.